Who cares? Who cares? They caught him and he got in trouble. Who cares? Doesn't change what happened. It doesn't change what we wake up to every day. This massive loss and this total confusion and chaos about what's safe in life anymore. That'll never go away. We're not going to recover from that. We're not going to be like, oh, everything's okay now. It's all good. It's all good. No, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to learn to live with it. Well, I live in a world that is almost entirely devoid of compassion. Almost entirely devoid of compassion. And yet, I live in another world that is entirely compassionate. That's all I've ever known from Jesus for 32 years. I've never said it like that. That's all I've ever known was compassion. That's all I've ever known is love and acceptance and freedom. So much freedom. Look how much freedom I've had in here. Look how much freedom I have in ministry compared to all the other people. You know, I've had so much freedom to make mistakes. Mistakes rock. They rock. Because they mean you're going to get another chance to do it different. People ask me all the time, do you listen to your records and wish you had done it different? I'm like, oh no, absolutely not. I wouldn't change one hair on any head of anything I've done. There's just some stuff I won't do again. Because I've never been bullied by God. But I've been bullied by everything else in this life. And I'm not the only one. I'm not special. I'm not special. Rick Warren, the second most famous Christian on the planet's son, committed suicide, ironically, on my son's last birthday alive. I wasn't the only Christian minister whose son died that year. Why do I think he had a totally different experience than I did? I don't know. I don't think he was worrying about money, and I don't think he was worrying about compassion. I don't know. I don't know. He has a nice, big ministry, and oh yeah, he has, you know, a family and friends, and he has people that can take over his church, so he can take a long time off if he needs it. And you know what? I have a handful of people who stood by me, and God bless them. If you look at the activity on Facebook and how many people I actually know of all those people, which is a lot of them, this can't be true just for me. This has to be true for humanity. Will someone just say it is, Paisley? Don't worry, it's not just you. You know what I mean?
Just you.
Because am I, you know, the solution will always be, I can't change you, but I can change me. That's always going to be the solution. That's a given. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to cling to Jesus, and I'm going to find my path again, and find what I can do, and find what music I can still do, and what ministry I can still do, you know, and what I'm physically even capable of after being white out, because I've aged so much in 2 years. I felt like I went from 30 to 60 in the last 2 years, health-wise. And but that's what I got. But I have Jesus every second of every day, and I'm not manifesting that. Trust me. Trust me. That ain't me, babe. That ain't me. That's him. So I say to all the Christians in the room, and all the Christians in TV land, your hate is another nail into Christ. No matter how wrong these people are. No matter how wrong these people are. I'm sorry, what's her name? Hates. She hates. That's why she ain't Martin Luther King, because she hates. I don't know if Martin Luther King was any better because I wasn't there. But all I know is that she hates. I know what church she goes to, they teach people to hate. But hate her, you're no different. It sucks, I know, because there's some people you really, really, really want to hate. You know, like the president or Osama bin Laden, you know, or Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? There's people you really want to hate, but the problem is...
Kanye West.
You know, I'm more of a Miley Cyrus hater, but you know what? The irony of that, anyone who knows me knows that she's like best friends with Joan Jett. I'm so confused. So, my favorite rock star in history is best friends with Miley Cyrus. I don't understand. I don't like her anymore. I hate everyone. You know what? I'm an equal opportunity hater. Because the best and the worst of the human race aren't a whole lot different than each other. In my eyes, I can imagine how they are in God's eyes at this point. He loves everybody exactly the same. He saved everybody exactly the same. He made Christ available to everybody exactly the same. And yet we separate the world into groups of who we like and don't like and who we hate. And it's okay to hate and it's not okay to hate. And I don't think it's okay to let people hate and not say something. Amen. I'm really sorry. I write people, I say, I hate your hate, and you're making me a hater, and I don't want to get sick like you. Will you please take down the hate? And this is why. And if they say no, I say, then I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to see your hate on the internet again. I'm simply just not going to see it again. You want to make yourself sick with that? That's fine. I don't want it in my life anymore. I have too much to carry around right now than to hate everything and to see pictures of dead babies that were neglected by their parents. It wasn't even, seriously, talk about a hoax. I'm sorry. The problem with this is we see it and we react. And then what? Then we find out what really happened. And that's really bad too. So should I post another picture of the dead baby? Just say, post this if you're against child abuse. My gosh, post this if you're against cruelty to animals. Really? I have to post a picture of a pit bull with his face blown off just because I support animal rights? Anyone who knows me, most people who support animal rights can't look at that stuff. How come nobody gets that? We can't handle it. We can't handle it. Gosh. Why does this all matter? I don't know, because some of the greatest minds that weren't Christians said the way you treat animals is the way you treat humans. But, you know, I'm not going to go there. The amount of, humaneness you show animals as your character, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, Jesus said love your neighbor as yourself. And everyone is everyone, and we're supposed to love everybody the same, and we're not supposed to put people into groups. I don't even know what group Miley Cyrus would be in, but gosh, I have to love her. And if I'm going to get shitty about Miley Cyrus, I have to pray for her. That's what I need to do. And you know what? That is a bad day in Paisley land to have to pray for Miley Cyrus. I'm like, really? Really? It might be my fault she wore that to the VMAs, but I got a little carried away when I was praying. I was like, oh no, really, please, dress her like that. No, I can care less. Seriously, I'm just making a joke about Miley Cyrus. She'll probably do something really nice one day and I'll have to find someone new to make fun of because I'm running out of people. I used to make fun of Michael W. Smith, but he sent me a nice letter. Then I moved on to Stephen Curtis Chapman, but you know, he lost a kid. I can't pick on him anymore. You know, I'm running out of targets. Maybe I have to love people. Maybe I have to be nice. Maybe I have to stop hating people. Maybe I need to stop making people the butt of my jokes. I don't know where I would get my humor, but, you know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do different? We're going to stop saying what good people we are. Because, well, if you have to say you're a good person, you're not. I say to people, you seem really nice. Well, I try to be a nice guy. Well, yeah, you just ruined it. Ted Bundy was a nice guy. Jeffrey Dahmer was a nice guy. That was the way they lured people in. It's what you do in private. It's what you do when nobody sees. It's how you pass judgment on everything around you. And it translates to how you treat other people in their time of need. I have been royally failed by humanity, save for a couple people. I have been royally failed by the majority of people I know personally, and no one can fix that, and no one can make that up to me. And like I said, I'm not going to read all the emails and I got stuff that I'm going to get for having said it. Not from everyone in the room, because people are going to see this, because they won't come, but they'll watch me on the internet, and then all of a sudden I'll get letter after letter. And I'm just going to ignore it. You know why? Because it's not going to change anything. I still have to carry around my grief every day for the rest of my life, and I'm going to do it with as much dignity and faith as I possibly can, knowing that Jesus will be with me every step of the way. My question is, if humanity is not compassionate with me, can anyone understand how hard it is for me to be nice? Can anyone understand that it just might be hard to be nice? But I bet a lot of people struggle with that because their spouse or their partner is mean to them, or their kids are mean to them, or they have the brain tumor, or they're struggling with their work, they're struggling with their finances, something is eating away at them, so it makes their quality of life disappear. It's hard to be nice. If I say something stupid like, if you want a friend, be a friend, if I say, well, the problem is, the spiritual solution to your problem is ministering to someone else who's in need. That's in the Bible. It's not just Gandhi anymore, it's in the Bible. That reaching out in your time of pain helps. Hence why you're all here. God bless you. So, I've gone really long, and I'm not sorry, because I'll just say I'm sorry, but I don't mean it. Because trust me, I've spent the whole time trying to edit, and I'm failing. So I'm just going to say this. If you're here tonight, and you've ever known the indescribable wow of knowing Jesus, you know indescribable wow is a radical understatement. I can just say this. I am as ecstatic and in love with the Lord as I am devastated and destroyed in my loss. And the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and I'm sorry to my daughter in the room, was when she came to me and said, "You were amazing that night, Dad. You were all about Jesus. You held your ground, and you were so focused on the Lord that night that you made it where we all could be focused on the Lord." My kids said that to me. And obviously I didn't do it for her benefit, but I did it because that's who I really am under stress. I would rather not have the testimony, I'd rather not have the compliment, and I'd rather not have the nifty relationship I have with Jesus. I'd rather have my kid. But that's not an option, is it? And I sure as hell will never be shouting from the rooftops, "It was good that this happened, and it was God's will that this happened, and God had a plan," and blah, blah. That ain't me. That will never be me. I live in a world where things get sick and die and get broken and die. Period. It happens to everyone. That's all. That's all. God didn't need him for something. God didn't need him to change his tires or something. If you've ever known the indescribable wow of knowing Jesus, then you know it's a radical understatement. If you've never known it, I'm just going to say this. I wouldn't wish my life, not just the last 2 years, I wouldn't wish my life on anybody. I wouldn't wish my life on anybody. And if God forbid you ever face 1/10 of the abuse, 1/10 of the loss, 1/10 of the desertion, I pray to God that your foundation be flawless. Flawless. Nothing short of flawless. Because when the day comes, and it's funny, did Jesus not mention about where you build your house, and if you build it on the sand and the storm comes in and it just washes away? I pray to God you build your house on the rock. I knew my house was built on the rock. I am not surprised at how I handled what happened. I'm not surprised at all. Because I took Jesus serious from day one. Thank God I did, though. Because anyone who was around for it, it was terrible. And it still is. That's the beauty of it. It just repeats. I dream about it every single night. Every single night. But everybody's got something. Everybody's got a problem. Everybody's got some health thing. Everybody has loss. And everybody will know this stuff sooner or later. Sooner or later. So we all had to look forward to. Yay! So that having been said, please consider building your house with compassion. Infinite compassion. Infinite compassion for others. Infinite compassion for yourselves. But the experience of infinite compassion from the Lord. To be able to say, I screwed up so bad, and yet Jesus was right there saying, we're good. What do you mean we're good? Oh yeah, you know. This wasn't one of your best days, but we're good. What do you mean we're good? It means nobody died. Nobody died, Paisley. But one day somebody did. And to say that I felt like and feel like the biggest failure on planet Earth would be a gross understatement. But my Jesus talks to me every day about what happened. And explains to me, no matter how many times he has to, that it wasn't my fault. That's infinite compassion. It's not just words. It's not just promises. It's he shows up and he comforts me. All because that's who he is and what he does. I do not get on my knees in the morning and say, Jesus, please come over and take care of me. That never has to happen in my house. I'm going to pray for everybody. Bow your head for a second. I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to embarrass you. Just giving a little privacy in the room.